can you imagine if I've been talking to you for the last 3 minutes and have forgotten to go live? It's been a long morning. Right, first of all, disclaimer. If at any point I have to go pause and disappear from the screen for 10 seconds, a tiny little person has decided that this morning is the morning they would like to cry an awful lot. I have managed to get her tentatively to nap time, but we will see. It may well be I have to run off and get someone if we hear it. Yeah. So that's that. Second of all, today's lesson is going to be about order of operations. It's going to be about BEDMAS. I'm also going to talk about the fact that BEDMAS is not a topic. BEDMAS is not a thing we do. It's not a skill. Sorry, it's not a thing where today we're doing BEDMAS or BODMAS. What it is it has to apply to all maths whenever you're doing it. And the reason for that is if you don't have a single system worldwide for how operations are calculated, the same calculation gives different answers, and that can't happen. So we'll talk briefly about that, but I'm going to get straight on into it, and then we're going to start the lesson. So, I'm just staring at space. It's gone a bit mad here this morning. I do apologise. I've already said good morning to everyone in the chat, and they don't know this because I was talking to nobody because I hadn't gone live. So that's all good. So let's go straight into... it's been one of those mornings. Let's go straight into the starter activity. And the starter activity is, because we're putting things into order today, you're going to be putting which of these things is the least to the most valuable things. So... while you do that, I'm going to say some good mornings. Good morning to, I'm assuming it's Sophie, it could be Josh as well, Sophie or Josh. Good morning, Iona. Good morning to Stanley, and I realised yesterday I said good morning to Stanley because I thought Stanley was with someone else, but Stanley is in Anna Grace, and there was another account which was Grace Pettit, which is why I've got confused. So, well, good morning, Stanley. Good morning, Harry Sharp. Good morning to Alvi. Good morning to Joseph. Good morning to Alicia. Good morning to Sharanya. Good morning to Bella and Donny. I like that. Bella and Donny, because Bella Donna is a beautiful lady in Italian. So there you go. Bella and Donny is a lovely pair of names. Good morning to you all. So, what order of people have got things? Have they said that they think honesty is the most valuable? Have they said that they think compassion? If you don't know what these things are, honesty is telling the truth. Generosity is doing things for other people. Forgiveness is obviously letting people, when people make mistakes and it hurts you, understanding and showing them that you are still going to be friends with them or still care about them. Intelligence is how knowledgeable you are and your ability to use your brain, and compassion is your care and consideration for other people and the feelings of others. Good morning, Reese from Sully. Good morning to Eddie. I was on time, but then it came across as late, Eddie, because what you missed was me thinking I was live and I wasn't. Sophie's gone for honesty, forgiveness, generosity, compassion, intelligence. She's ranked intelligence as the most valuable. Interesting. And Harry's gone for generosity, honesty, compassion, forgiveness, and intelligence as well as the most valuable. Fascinating. Iona's gone for forgiveness, honesty, generosity, compassion, and then intelligence. Wow. That's really interesting. Because I'm going to let you into a secret. I think I'd have intelligence as one of the lowest in all of these. I think it would be one of my least valuable. So, Harry's was the other way around. Okay. So I would actually agree with Harry. I think I would put intelligence as lower down than the things about other people. But then everyone's welcome to have their own answers. There's no correct answer to this question. That's the glory of doing this sort of thing. So we're going to be talking about order of operations today, and in particular BEDMAS, BODMAS, and all the different masses. So, why am I passionate about this? Well, First of all, this is not a topic on its own. This is not a, oh, today we're going to be doing BODMAS, or shall we use BODMAS, sir? BODMAS and BIDMAS, or whichever version you use, they all work the same, by the way. It's just a different letter as the second letter, and I'll talk about that in a second. They all just tell us the order in which we do things. And in fact, one of them only exists because of the order of operations. Let's get straight to it. Why do we need an order? Let's imagine that there wasn't an order of operations. You could do things in any order. There is an argument to state that the answer to this question is 4 times 2 is 8, add 6 is 14, take away 1 is 13. There is an argument to say that you could do the 2 add the 6 first and get an 8, and 4 times 8 is 32, take away 1 is 31. There is an argument to say you could do the take away first and do 6 take away 1 is 5, and then the add, 5 add 2 is 7, and then times by 4 is 28. There's an argument to say you could do 6 minus 1 is 5, and do 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 add 5 is also 13. So there's various different ways round you can do this to get different answers. Now, the reason I'm talking to you about this is because we need one system which will give you the same answer whatever you do it. Because you can't have... Remember, maths is only a toolkit to apply to real life. And in real life, you can't have two people... You can't have me going in to do my job and me going, right, I think you need to pay me £45,000. And my boss going, no, you only get paid £25,000. And I go, oh, no, because I've worked it out this way around. It's like, no, I worked it out this way around. You can't have that. People would have arguments all the time. So instead, I'm right in the middle of the screen. I'm having one of those mornings. So we got 4 times 2 plus 6 minus 1. So the message was still there. Okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we need a system where whatever happens, that is the order in which we do things. And that is the system we use. BODMAS. Some primary schools BODMAS. Okay? Brackets, order. Order is the little powers. Division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. You may find some people use indices to replace order, and they use BIDMAS. So you can use BODMAS or BIDMAS. They both mean the same thing. And let me go straight over to the whiteboard where I can show you what I'm talking about. Hopefully we'll have the whiteboard working today. Although, given the way everything else has been working, it's quite likely this is going to go wrong. Let's have the best of intentions. So we've got brackets, little powers. Order or indices are the little powers, the little numbers. Then we've got multiplication and divide. However, these come together. You just read left to right. And then we have add and subtract. And again, these come together. You just read left to right. What do I mean? Well, let's imagine this quite complicated sum. 4 plus 7 times 2 add 6 squared. What we need to do is we need to go through, first of all, are there any brackets? No. I've deliberately left brackets out of this one because I'm going to talk about brackets in a second. We then look at the powers. Squared means times itself. We do the squared first, so 6 squared is 36. And underneath, what is sometimes useful is either to highlight the thing you're working on first or underline the thing you're working on first. We could then copy everything else down, but only do the bit we did first. So the next thing we would do after we've done those, we're now going to do times and divide. There's only a times, so we're going to do 7 times 2 is 14, and still got add there, and we're going to keep the 4 plus, and we're going to keep the 36. Now we've got that one done. We've got adds and takeaways. 4 add 14 is 18, is 54. This would make 54 if you put it into a calculator. But it would be very easy to get a different answer if you do it in a different order. because you have to do the 6 squared. It's not from left to right. This is not doing BIDMAS. This is how you work out any calculation. It is very important that that's the order you work with. I've even seen people struggle with this idea. 18 minus 2 times 5. Now, when we do this, you do multiplication first. So we underline that, and that becomes 10. Bring everything down. I've seen people try and do 10 take away 18. We do not ever read backwards. So we still have to read it from the left. 18 take away 10 is 8. That's why I am a big fan of this. Draw a line under what you're working out, and then work left to right. I am seeing a lot of people saying, what? I'm very confused. Anyway, hopefully you all understand what I've done so far and how that works. I'm not in the way anymore, and hopefully it's making sense. So I'm going to just do a few more. We'll start a new page. We're going to have, what if we've got 3 times 6 plus 4 times 7. Remember, when we go down it, write down your thing. I've not got any brackets yet because I'm going to talk about brackets in a second. There's no powers. So we're looking at division and multiplication together, and we do those left to right. So there is 2 times this, so I can do those both at the same time. 3 times 6 is 18, 4 times 7 is 28, and bring the plus down. And we've now done that. We've now got an add, so the answer would be 46. And we've done the addition and subtraction that gets done at the same time. This is because, and I'm going to struggle saying this because you're primary school students and I don't want you getting confused, addition and subtraction are from the same family. They're the same operation. Basically, subtraction is adding minus numbers, so it's the same operation, it's still adding. Division is the same as multiplication. I know that's going to be very confusing for you, but division is basically timesing by a fraction. If you divide by 3, it's the same as timesing by a third. I've talked about this a lot, but if you're still uncomfortable with that, that's absolutely fine. Just remember it as division and multiplication come at the same time. But when you get to sort of secondary school, you'll learn that they have the same roots. They mean the same ideas. The thing I'm going to do now is quickly go back to the studio and talk about brackets. Because why do brackets exist? The only reason brackets exist is because once IDMAS or ODMAS or I've seen EDMAS used as well. Once you've got that bit, they needed a way of forcing a thing to be done first. Because once you've got a system which says we're always going to do square powers, then we're going to do adding and multiplying and dividing, then we're going to do adding and subtracting, we need a way of forcing us to do it a different way around. And that's why brackets were invented. That's why brackets are used. Brackets only exists to make it so that it's possible to break the order, to do it in a different order. So that if I want to do this first, I can tell you, by the way, I've got brackets around this to make you do it first. Brackets weren't put in, how should we let brackets work? They came in once we had the maths as a way of forcing it to be done in a different order. Remember, Josh, I need you to always say what your question is. I don't understand. It's very good, but I need you to understand. I need you to tell me what you don't understand so that I can help you with it. No one's done anything wrong. I need questions for me to be able to help you with them. All right. So we are going to go back and just do a couple with brackets now. So we've got brackets. So we're going to have 5 plus 7 all squared minus 12 times 2. So this is the most complicated I would ask you to do. So in the worksheet that's in the description below, this would be the hardest section. Well, first thing we do is we write our BIDMAS out. So I'm just going to rub out the bits we haven't done. You've done that. So the first thing, have we got any brackets? Yes, we have. So we do the brackets first. So we're going to do the bracket first. So that's going to change to 12 squared minus 12 times 2. So all we've done so far is the brackets. Now we're going to do the powers. Now remember, they would have called it BEDMAS, but it doesn't sound quite right, does it? BEDMAS, because powers is actually the best word for it. Indices is another word for powers. So is order. So is exponent, which is why you've got BIDMAS, BADMAS, BODMAS. It doesn't matter what letter you've got there. It just means do the little powers. We're going to do the power here. So that makes 144 minus 12 times 2. The next thing we do is divide and multiply. So we're going to do the 12 times 2 is 24. And then finally, we get 120 by doing the takeaway. Oh, I've done it again. Oh. So the red one here, the red one here is the one. I'm going to reverse this because you couldn't see the screen. I'm having a day. This is what happens when you're up early trying to sort baby out. Hopefully you can forgive me. So we've got, first thing we do is the brackets, and that gives us the 12. And we keep the squared, and we keep the 12 times 2. The next thing we do once we've done the brackets is we do the powers. So we do that one. That makes 144, because 12 times 12 is 144. And we keep everything else. Remember, I'm keeping everything else, just underlining the thing I'm doing. Now I'm going to do the multiplying. So I'm going to do 12 times 2, gives me the 24. And finally, it's going to be 120. Yeah, Sophie, I'm not sure she's still hungry, unfortunately, because she's had so much milk. She's had more milk than than exists in the world. She's drunk an entire cow this morning, but she's just still grizzly. She's probably just going through a growth spurt. Okay, I hope you are all understanding what I just did there. That's one of the harder ones. Now, in the description below, I have linked to a worksheet I've provided for you, and I don't think I've made any mistakes in that, but with the way things are going today, who knows? I hope the solutions match the questions, but feel free to contact me if they don't. I hope today has made sense. I've made some mistakes today, and that makes me feel sad, because as a teacher, I know mistakes are important, but when I'm teaching you, I don't want anyone confused. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to message me, or put a comment in the link below about a bit that didn't make sense. We have a worksheet on order of operation. And remember, if you practice that, that's how you are going to learn. I'm going to take myself off the screen so that you can actually see what's going on. And remember to practice the worksheet. The answers are there. And then there's a Taskmaster this week still of the best pasta picture. Make the best picture you can out of dry pasta. I'd love to see some more pictures come in. Okay. The link... Oh, do you mean the link isn't there? No, surely you can't say the link isn't there as well. It must be there. Oh, I've copied the wrong thing. I'm having a nightmare today. I really am. So I will get that sorted just as soon as we finish, because I thought I'd put the link in, and I'll get the thumbnail. This has not been the best lesson, has it? Mr. Harris is apologetic, but I will be here this afternoon to do some more stuff for secondary, and I will see you all Friday. I've been Mr. Harris. You haven't. And I'm going to go and sort out a grizzly baby. Take care. This is what I've been dealing with this morning. As soon as I pick her up, she's fast asleep. But she just wants to grizzle. It's just like always. Yeah, I'm having problems with hoodies. You see, this vicious gang of hoodies causing a nightmare for me. So making all sorts of cute little noises. But soon as I lie her down, she doesn't want to know about sleep. As soon as I pick her up, fast asleep. So the link is now in the description below. I'm sorry I was a bit distracted today, but she is a handful, quite literally. So thank you very much for joining me in the lesson today. I've been Mr. Harris. She's been Devil Baby. You haven't. Take care.